Hey everybody, it's the Doll Boy, and today I'm back with a new video. I know you haven't heard that in such a long time, and I've honestly just been really busy living my life. While I was away from YouTube for a little while, I have been doing a lot of stuff with my dolls, and if you follow me on Instagram at TheDollBoy, you've already seen quite a lot of stuff I did. Today though, I'm finally going to show you how I created one of my favorite custom dolls so far. As some of you might know, I really love Zendaya, and when I went to the movie Dune, I loved all of her screen time, even though it was very brief. I really love how earthy and natural she looked with her bright blue eyes and brown wavy hair. Even while I was in the movie theater, I was already thinking about how to capture this look in doll form, and now I'm very excited to finally show you the process and end result. In several of my previous videos, you've seen this Georgia doll, whose hair I've dyed several times, and in the end it turned out a bit swampy. So I was really excited to just cut all that hair off, and I was probably even more excited than my scissors. After chopping the hair as short as I could, I got my bowl of boiling water and simply dip in the head to soften up the plastic. This makes it easier to take the head off the body. Once that's done, I take my forceps pliers and scrape the inside of the doll's head to pull out that leftover hair to the inside of the head. Afterwards, I take my forceps pliers once again, but this time I open them and trim the head through the neck hole and pull out all of that fuzz to completely empty the head. After that, I also swapped her eyes for these very light ones that I think belong to the Devious twins. And I did that step off camera, since I always get so stressed out when switching the eyes of these dolls, but I have done it in previous videos. Because I want to reroot this doll in dark brown hair, I am going to paint the scalp to match. For this, I'm using Mod Podge and acrylic paint in brown. I add the Mod Podge in this to keep it very nice and flexible during the reroot process, which avoids the paint getting chipped. Normally I would use my paintbrush to do this, but I couldn't find any at the time, so I'm simply smudging the paint on with this Q-tip. For the edges of the head, I am being a little more careful, because I don't want to get any paint on her face or neck area. After doing a couple of layers of that paint and Mod Podge mixture, the color was really nice and saturated. For the hair, I'm gonna create a custom blend of several shades of brown reroot hair that I got from TheDollPlanetHair. I already had some leftover truffle and ink black from previous reroots, with truffle being this really dark brown color that I'm gonna mix in with some slightly lighter colors like dark coffee and dark auburn brown. And I want to add in some very subtle highlights as well, and for that I'll be using the chestnut brown and light amber. For the reroot, I mainly used the dark auburn brown with some of the truffle as a low light and the light amber as highlight. I do want to mix these colors together as well to get a very nicely blended base color. For this, I separate some hair of all the colors and brush all of these strands together. I twist the strands around a couple times and brush it out again, which results in a really nice color blend that looks super seamless. To prepare for the reroot process, I start laying a bunch of small strands on a table. This helps me keep the hair super neat while adding the hair to the head, and this way it's much easier for me to keep a consistent strand size. I do need to take off the head again, since I use this doll a lot to wear wigs in the meantime, so I take my boiling water to soften the head again, which makes it easier for me to remove the head from the body, and already softens up the head, making sure I'm ready to start the reroot right away. For this, I'm using the reroot tool that I got from TheDollPlanetHair as well, which has a needle with a cut-off eye. I wrap the hair strand around my finger 2 times, and then I pick the strand up with my reroot tool. Then I gently pull on the ends of this one hair strand to tie that loop into a knot, before I push the reroot tool into one of the holes in the doll's head. And that is your first strand attached. Now I'm going to keep doing the same thing for like hundreds of times, starting with the hairline. Then once the hairline is all rooted in my brown mixture, I want to continue rooting the part line. For this, I once again dip the head in boiling water to soften the head, to make it easier to push the hair into the hard plastic heads these rainbow high dolls have. For this specific custom, I want to use the middle part Georgia already had, which made my life a lot easier. That's because I can use the existing holes instead of having to make new holes in the head. To root the actual part line, I'm just using thicker strands and rooting one straight line from front to back in that same brown color mixture that I've used for the hairline. Then when I've rooted that line, I go back in to see if there's any spots that need some extra filling up, and if I see some areas that need it, I'll just add more hair to the holes that I already filled up, or go right in between, to make sure this part line looks really full and covers any bald spots that might show. Once I'm happy with how that looks, I really carefully brush out the hair, and I take the pointy end of my comb to separate that one thick part line into 2 to reveal the final look of the part line. The reason I like to do the hairline and part line first is because those for me are the trickiest steps. So now that's out of the way, I can just fill up the rest of the hair with those same brown colors. For the inside of the head, I used both that brown color blend as well as all the colors separated to give it some more defined highlights. I'm adding these high and low lights in horizontal rows to still keep a very even and symmetrical look, and to make sure that one side is not much lighter or darker than the other. Seeing your dream doll come together like this, and getting more and more hair, just has something so satisfying to it, which honestly is the only reason I love doing reroots this much. Once all the hair is added to the head, I twist the hair out of the way to avoid getting glue in the actual hair. Then I take my Fabri-Tac glue to secure all those little hoops to the inside of the head. While filling the inside of the head with a coat of glue, I'm already twisting and turning the head around to try and get that even coat on all the areas the doll has hair rooted. And I go in with a Q-tip to distribute it even more. After letting this glue dry overnight, I can finally attach the head back to the body, which might be the most exciting moment of an entire customization. I did also create a brown outfit for my Zendaya doll, and curled the hair with some very tight curlers to create this glamorous rendition of her Dune character Chani. I really hope you liked the outcome of this doll customization, and my first video back in a very long time. If you love her as much as I do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Since I am trying to ease my way back into uploading a bit more, I would really appreciate it if you'd give me some fun video ideas in the comments, and maybe I'll try to get some new videos out there. To see more of this doll and my other dolls in the meantime, make sure to follow me on Instagram as well, at TheDollBoy. Thank you so much for all your support. See you next time!